What's up, dudes? Today is a very special edition of Cheap Booze Reviews. We're going to be hitting up my favorite malt liquor, my favorite bottle design, and my favorite cap. You seasoned bottom shelf drinkers know exactly where I'm going with this. What's with the clothes? Ooh, I think we're about to review some Mai Tais or something. Hold on. Where we're going, you'd get your ass kicked wearing a pink shirt with palm trees on it. You may say, Brad, what's with this jean jacket? Well, I'd say to you, imagine a bar where Mickey's Big Mouths are the law of the land. If you ain't drinking Mickey's here at 4 p.m. at happy hour, you're drinking wrong and liable to get your ass kicked. What kind of place are you in? If you answered across the street from a unionized manufacturing plant, pounding Mickey's before you go home to ignore your nagging wife, you'd probably be right. If you look here real close on the bottle, you can see it. Take my glasses off so I can see what's going on here. See that? Union made. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. This is a blue collar working man's malt liquor. Hence the blue color. That Union Made label used to be a little more prominently featured on the label. I don't know what happened. Hopefully Pinkerton didn't come in there and bust some ass. Some fat cat coming in breaking up the Union. Because Mickey's is good. We don't need no changes in influence with this shit, man. Quick history lesson. Mickey's came of age in 1962, brewed by Sterling Brewers in Evansville, Indiana. Talk about blue-collar working man land. Indiana, baby. Eventually, they were bought up by Miller, just like everybody, of course. But they never got that Miller watered-down treatment. Thank God. Sure, you can get Mickey's in 16 ounces in a 4-pack, 24 ounces individually, 40 ounces if you know where to look, but this right here is the Mickey's container. 12-ounce grenades, as they're affectionately called, including on Mickey's own website. Yes, they do advocate chucking these bad boys at people that piss you off in the bar. That's right, baby. I suspect they'd make mincemeat of any snot-nosed college kid who came into your old guys only Union bar at 4:30 in the afternoon at happy hour. I haven't tried it, but when I turn about 70 or so, I bet it'll sure as hell feel good. You may ask, why on earth would they make such a strange-shaped bottle? It makes supply chains harder because you gotta find and source these bottles. You gotta make them yourself. Your 6-pack fits way too snugly in the fridge. You gotta put them on a regular shelf instead of that 6-pack holder. Probably a pain for stocking in the racks at the convenience store. Why? Well, number one, they look fucking cool and they feel good. But number two, more importantly, they call these Mickey's Big Mouths for a reason. And no, it's not because it's going to make you a big mouth asshole. Even though that'll probably happen. No. Wide open mouths. Look at that gaping hole right there. Does that remind you of your mother? Sorry, that was in bad taste. You can shotgun a Mickey's and you never have to put a hole in the side of it. You can down this baby like you're shotgunning a beer. You'll be done before those assholes that are stabbing holes in the sides of their cans. Think about how long that takes. Break your knife out, break your keys out. It takes forever, man. You could chug 2 Mickeys in the time it takes some frat boy to do that. And you know, that's called ruthless American efficiency, baby. If it ain't worth doing in blue-collar America, it ain't worth doing right. But if it is worth doing, it is worth doing right. I really fucked that phrase up, didn't I? It's worth doing right and fast. Woo! Now, I'm no animalologist, biologist, zoologist, bugologist, or whatever, but Mickey's calls this a beehive-shaped can. Bottle, I should say. Yet their logo, if you look here, is a hornet. Was this a drunken mistake? Or a way to fuck with drunk people? Maybe both? I'm gonna probably go with both. Because, speaking of fucking with drunk people, under every cap is what Wikipedia calls a rebus puzzle. Basically, they arrange clip art together to make phrases, and you gotta interpret what the images mean. Sometimes they're funny, sometimes they're not. Believe me, the deeper you get into a Mickey's bender, the more clever these bad boys seem under the cap. So, let's go ahead and look at one of these together, huh? Cracking on Mickey's. Now, it's gonna be hard to see. You guys can see this. You'll see, if I rotate it correctly, a check mark, hair, and a ball launching out of a cardboard box. Now, to you seasoned Mickey guys, you already know what this means. I'll give you boys a second. Alright, dudes. Gotta learn to interpret your Mickeys if you think you want to run with the big dogs, okay? So this right here is check my hair out. And look at this. I actually ran pomade through my hair for the first time this week, so it's almost like I planned this. Believe it or not, I didn't. I saw that Mickey's at the grocery store, the convenience store I should say, and I was like, you know what, Mickey sounds good tonight. I'll review that for the boys. So, you can see, Mickey's designs these things to kind of fuck with drunk people a little bit. But that's not even what I'm talking about yet. Drink enough Mickeys like I did back in college, and you'll run into exactly what I'm talking about. On the Mickey's website, until a couple years ago, if you got stumped, they had all of the solutions to these caps listed. You just had to find the right picture. But back when they nowadays they have 12 or so listed, but back when they had all of them listed, dozens and dozens of puzzles, you would go on there and you would scroll through and try to find a couple certain caps. I don't have those caps anymore. I used to keep them. There were a couple caps that were just images. Couldn't make them out. You went on Mickey's website, they didn't exist. You went on the internet, nobody could figure them out. Well, turned out, Mickey's was making up caps, popping them onto the bottles, and fucking with drunk people. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. This is the fuck with drunk people malt liquor, and I love them for that. If you can imagine, back in college, I wouldn't drink my Mickey's until I figured out the riddle. You can imagine my frustration when there were some unsolvable riddles. I made exceptions for that. Now, allegedly, also, I'm going to put this out there, they make a Mickey's Ice. When I run into this holy grail, I'll let you know. If you guys want to drop in the comments below if you've ever seen a Mickey's Ice or you think it's a unicorn that doesn't exist, let me know. If you know a specific store that carries it, also let me know. Shit, maybe you could mail it to me. Anyway, clocking in at 5.8% alcohol by volume, what does Mickey's actually taste like? Well, my answer would be really damn good. So, some people say this beehive shape comes from the Hornet. I'd say this beehive shape of the bottle, beehive shape, comes from the beer. If you close your eyes and, I don't know, squint your nostrils, you can taste honey. And it's not shit honey either. It tastes good. And no disgusting aftertaste like you get with most malt liquors either. Mickey's is one of those rare occasions of cheap malt liquor that tastes good to drink. Not just like passable, but it's good. And with those big mouth caps, let me tell you, they go down fast. You won't even notice. Now, I've heard a few people on the internet say Mickey's doesn't really cause a hangover. I'm sorry, they do. You just have to drink enough to get that hangover. But this is nothing like most malt liquor hangovers. If you've ever pounded down Steel Reserve or Four Loko, you know what I'm talking about. Especially post-caffeine Four Loko. Ooh, we'll get to that soon. The hangover from Mickey's is pretty tame. Pound out some Pedialyte or some Gatorade and you'll be back in the game in no time tomorrow. So to me, Mickey's is a 9 out of 10 malt liquor. Really, I think my favorite malt liquor on the planet. Not my favorite drink on the planet, of course. I love Stag. But Mickey's, solid 9 out of 10. And that's official, because I want you to look right here. On the label. Quote, fine malt liquor. Yep, Mickey's knows exactly what they got. And that's a damn good, cheap, blue-collar malt liquor. That's all I got for you today, dudes. If you'll excuse me, I'm gonna go pound down a sixer of Mickey's and feel good tomorrow. Catch you later.